Here's my cancer story for anyone who may be going through this or doesn't know about melanoma cancer or other skin cancers. So in 2010, I went in to my dermatologist because I had a mole on my back that I didn't like the way that it looked. And she said she wouldn't remove it because she said it didn't look cancerous. And she was almost very scolding and condescending. And she said, I'm the expert and I know. And I said, I understand. I didn't go to medical school. All I went to was God. And there's something in me that doesn't like this mole, so just go ahead and remove it. She said, well, you'll have to pay out of pocket because insurance won't cover it, because I won't recommend it. It does not look cancerous. And in all my years and blah, I said, it's fine, I'll pay out of pocket. I had no money, but I was like, I will pay out of pocket, and I was planning to. I said, just remove it, please. And so she huffed and she puffed and she took the mole out. And then the very next morning, I was living in Marina del Rey, California at the time, in this little tiny studio apartment, but right on the water, and it was beautiful. And I had just been praying to God, so I was like in this amazing feeling of gratitude. And she called, and she apologized profusely. I think she was scared that I would sue her. You know, maybe if I was a little smarter and not such a people pleaser, maybe I would have. But in any case, she said, I am so sorry. I made a huge mistake. It was filled with melanoma. It's pretty severe, actually. You need to go immediately to John Wayne Cancer Center. I set up an appointment for you to be seen today, anytime that you're available. But it's an emergency. You have to go. And I'm so sorry. And I was in such a good space because I had just been praying and filled with gratitude. So that's probably why I didn't sue her. But anyway, then I went, and then it was, a huge journey after that. I had to go into multiple surgeries. It was a huge recovery period. I didn't have to go through chemo, but it was hard. It was really hard, especially being an actor in Los Angeles, and I had been getting some traction, meaning I was auditioning and I was getting some things, and more big auditions were coming. You can't tell people in LA that you're sick or going through something. And so and I would just make up excuses as why I couldn't go, and my agents were getting really mad at me. And so that's a whole other story. That's why I decided to open up my own acting studio and theater 3 years later and move back to my hometown of Denver, Colorado to be near family. Yeah, I'm doing this in my pajamas with zero makeup because I want you to see. Now, then so I had that removed, went through the cancer journey, had to see doctors every month for an entire year. Then it was every 3 months, and then it was every 6 months. Every year it got less. So it was like the next year it was every 3 months, and then the year after that it was every 6 months, and then now once a year. But since then, I had basal cell carcinoma removed right here, and that's why my eyebrows are, it's like a little weird because it messed up like the way my forehead sits. But fine, basal cell carcinoma, if you don't know, is the least form of skin cancer. You still want to remove it because it's farmers and people wouldn't, and that's how they'd end up having to get their entire nose removed. So right now, I've got these spots on my nose, and I have an appointment because I'm afraid that it's more basal cell. Because it's not going away. It's not a zit. It just keeps coming back. That's what it happens, and that's what this one looked like. At first, it seemed like just a zit or something, but it just doesn't go away. It just keeps coming back. If you have moles, check them. Check them, and don't believe the experts. Oh, it's nothing. If it looks discolored, if it's black, if it's pink, if it's just not sitting well with you, get it removed. Just get it removed. Doesn't matter. Just remove it. Melanoma attacks your lymph nodes. So that actually goes into your lymphatic system. One of my students' wives was diagnosed the exact same year, same month that I was diagnosed, in September of 2010. She died 9 months later. So I realize I'm very lucky. Now, there's also a lot of shame and weird stuff when you get cancer, because it's like if you don't go through chemo or something, people are like, oh, that doesn't count. Or if you don't die, it doesn't count. But I'm here to tell you, it does count. You matter. My dad ended up dying with melanoma. Now, why did I get melanoma? Because I was always really tan. I tan very well. Even though I'm such like a whitey, I actually tan extremely well. And that was the look. It was like, you got to get tan, man. You don't want whitey. You got to get super tan. So I was always super tan, like the copper tone baby, until I became a lovely shade of melanoma. It's not funny. Colorado, where I live, is the leading state for melanoma. Sunscreen does work. There's also some people that say, oh, it doesn't work and blah, blah, and try and gaslight you. Sunscreen works. It's the best thing that we have so far to protect against this stuff. So please wear your sunscreen. It is real. What else did I want to tell you? This is like my PSA because I'm coming up on my anniversary of being cancer free. But like I said, I'm going to have to get some more things removed. I've been made fun of because of my eyebrows. I was a product of the Pam Anderson in the 90s. I had been in a show, a fashion show, and this super amazing gay man who I just trusted my life with because he's doing my makeup and everything. He's like, can I pluck your eyebrows? And I had perfect, wonderful eyebrows. And I was like, sure, why not? Of course, I'm going to trust the expert. And so he plucked them. And then when I got cancer, I realized for some people, they never grow back. So now I have them microdermabrased because I was drawing them on, and that didn't work so well. People were like, "What happened?" Sometimes they'd smudge off or something. They're like, "Oh my God!" One time, one of my students was like, "Oh dear God, what happened? What happened to your eyebrow?" I've been made fun of them for a long time. My eyebrows, just the way I look in general. So I thought I'd make this pajama video at 6 in the morning and let you know to wear sunscreen. Bob Marley died of cancer, of melanoma cancer, by the way, when he was only 35 years old. It was a mole in between his toes. That's my visual for a mole in between his toes. So, yeah, doesn't matter how much melanin you have in your skin, you can get skin cancer. So let this be your PSA. Also, let this be an opportunity that today is a brand new day, and you get this day. So even if you have cancer in your body, you get this moment. You get this day. Take a deep breath. Don't shame yourself for being wherever you are in life. You have this new opportunity. Going through cancer actually was one of the most profound things of my life because I've never felt so close to God. That's when I became closer to God. That's a whole other video, another topic. I've had a relationship with God my whole life, but that was the beginning. That's how I opened up my entire business. I opened my business up in 2013 because I thought, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with what I love to do, which is acting? How can I do this but not be at the mercy of just auditions? And now that's changing too, because now you can be anywhere in the world and be an actor. And I can help you with that as well. But let this just be your reminder that you matter, your life matters, and take care of yourself and enjoy this day, no matter where you are in life or what you're going through. And I'm sending you so much love. And one more thing, don't ever trust any expert over your own internal knowing and what God is guiding you to do. Because sometimes experts, they don't know. They actually don't know. I wouldn't be alive today if I had listened to the expert.